and made similar. Brother Edudzi sat here and made similar pronouncements against the EC.
Trendybeats.com.
Which court has made pronouncements against the EC? But he made them on the basis of what? On the basis of his observation. So how is it that somehow, and I've sent you videos, one video where NDC supporters were actually insisting to the EC officer that if you don't pronounce it, we'll kill you. I've sent you the video. Do I need a court to tell me if somebody says that I will kill you? Do I need a court to tell me that that is a form of duress? What are we talking about? I mean, somehow we want to approbate and reprobate the people who sit here and call people corrupt when there is no competent court of jurisdiction that's pronounced such people corrupt. You sit here and call them corrupt. On what basis do you call them corrupt? On the basis, quote unquote, of maybe what you have seen, whether true or false. Just that is enough for you to call Akufo-Addo corrupt, call that person corrupt. So for me, there is enough evidence of duress. Now, where? Edudzi, you talk about locals. St. George may very well go to a polling station to observe, but what law does St. George have? What powers does he have to coerce an officer and tell the officer what to say? You are the lawyer, please educate me. Oh, but I've sent the video. I've sent the video, please play. I've sent the video. Roland, have I sent you the video or not?
You sent me video.
Yeah, kindly play the video where you see St. George telling the EC officer what to say.
No, I am.
So don't
there.
No. You are aware. You are aware.
You see, don't mislead the public.
No, please. Let's make it
I'll have my opportunity to.
I have not misled the public. I have not conjured anything. I have simply replayed a video I watched. Okay, and I simply quoted from a statement I read. Now you argue that Kwesi something was the returning officer, and then his boss, the lady who wrote to the Electoral Commission. Whatever that lady wrote is on paper. Has Kwesi Brobe come and refuted all the things that his boss wrote to the Electoral Commission? Do you have evidence where Kwesi Brobe has refuted everything that was in the document? So it's not enough to say that his boss wrote it and he didn't. Who gave the information to the boss? Are you saying that the boss conjured the information and wrote it to the Electoral Commissioner? Of course she couldn't. It must have come from somebody. So unless you give me evidence where Brobe has refuted the claims made in that statement, you don't have such evidence. You cannot therefore say that what's in that statement is false. And I have replayed the video and I have made categorical statements of what I have watched in the video. So you cannot refute that as well unless you have contrary evidence, which you cannot provide. So the point I am making is that any Ghanaian can go to a station when there is a collation, but no Ghanaian has a right to coerce or insist on an EC officer on what to say. So don't obfuscate the issue by deliberately trying to mix issues up to confuse people. Don't do that. Now, on the issue of perception, for me, I don't speak for the EC, and I've made it very clear time and again that when the EC commits something that, in my opinion, is an ill, I'll reprimand it, and I'm on record here, Metro TV, etc., where I have said that.
How would you describe the position of the EC and its reactions and actions thereof?
Which position of the EC?
Whether it calls for recollation or
that recollation thing, that Edudzi was talking about. I have just told you that the High Court granted the EC to recollate.
Before then, there was the position of the EC that said that they wanted to do a recollation. Indeed, exercises.
But that position was not executed until a court gave them the permission to execute. You can take a position, but if you take a position and you don't act on it until a court gives you that grant, what wrong have the EC committed? I mean, you are a lawyer. EC can take a position on an issue, and they took a position and went to court to validate that position. That's not an ill. That's actually lawful. and I'm quoting, quote, "In fact, Roxanne Dafiamakbo kept threatening me." This is in the document. I'm not saying it. So if Roxanne, you have anything, go and challenge that. I am not saying it. The document here says that you kept threatening the officer. It says
not the returning officer. I don't get you.
Please let him make his submission, please. Please,
Edudzi.
No, but you see,
No, please,
Kofi, by law, the person who returns parliamentary election is the returning officer.
We get that.
Nowhere in this document is Maxwell Fosuhini saying that Roxanne threatened the returning officer whose core responsibility and duty is to declare the winner. Did you see anything there?
So
let me
stop
focusing on the tangentials.
Brother,
the substantive is that I am reading to you a document submitted by an EC Metro officer to the Electoral Commissioner. That document is making certain pronouncements, including Roxanne Dafiamakbo threatening people. Are you saying that this document is fake? So stop the tangentials. You can go and debate who wrote it or otherwise, but the fact is that Dafiamakbo is accused of threatening people. It's not me saying it. So what is this thing that you are doing? Stop it.
All right.
Now the point is that I have sent you videos. Please play the videos for Ghanaians to see. The ones where they are threatening the EC officer that they will kill the EC officer. Are you telling me I need a court to tell me killing somebody or threatening someone to kill the person is coercion? I need a court to tell me that. I need a court to tell me that it is not right for some judge to tell an EC officer what to say. What are you talking about?
Can I proceed?
All right.
These particular instances, the Electoral Commission had already made up its mind to do the recollation with or without the court order. What took us to Tesano? What took us to Tesano? Because even prior to this order from the court, you had already made up your mind that you recollate the result. Contrary to your own position, you advance when the NDC approach you for teaching and South. So don't bring the court thing here. In any case, look, when my learned friend Gary Nimako brought the mandamus application before the court, and I'll say this, when we appeared before the judge, the Electoral Commission, the judge asked the Electoral Commission if they were opposed to the mandamus application. They said no, they were not opposed. I stood up and said, my lord, with the greatest respect, the EC and what my learned friend are saying, it looks something. So we have filed a joinder. The judge asked me, where is the copy? I said, my lord, this is it. He sent his clerk for a copy of my joinder application. Notwithstanding the joinder application, the judge went ahead and gave this ruling. You think we are not smart? We know what is happening.
Are you accusing the judge?
I am not. I am just telling you that we are not.
What are you
look,
appealing?
No, please, it's okay.
He's accusing the judge.
There's a reason. There's a reason why we brought the joinder. There's a reason why we brought the joinder, because we felt that for the EC to say they are not opposed, it means that no. So we brought a joinder that allow us to join the action so that we can bring you contrary facts. The judge said, where is the copy of your joinder? I said, my lord, this is it. He sent a lady clerk, came for it. Notwithstanding his own acknowledgement of the joinder, he still went and said he's ordering that this thing should be recollated. Two, the judicial review that I brought, the EC never filed any affidavit in opposition. Guess what? If the Electoral Commission has this evidence, what you do is that you ask for Maxwell to depose to an affidavit and allege these instances. He cannot prove it in court. Always remember that assertion is not evidence. You have to go there and prove it. You can sit anywhere and say you are under duress. How can you say you are under duress when the thing happened in front of armed police officers? You mean Basim Tale is stronger and bigger than the Ghana police? But no, I beg you. I mean, you say I kept quiet and allowed.
But you see, we also have a number. As we are talking, a number of videos have come from Pandai to wherever. If I want to play those videos now, we create another murky situation where there will be a lot of input and this conversation could not come to a
Roland,
So
Roland, I want to draw your attention.
Please, you have 2 minutes. Try and wrap up for me so that
I want to draw your attention to something. Damango. Damango has about 93 polling stations. At the time, the Electoral Commission regional boss for Savannah declared Samuel Abu-Jinapo as the winner. They could not trace 49 polling station pink sheets. Meanwhile, Jay Mensah was the one who authorized the regional EC boss to declare Samuel Abu-Jinapo the winner.
How did you come to that?
No, the man said it. He said, I have been instructed.
From a call about?
Yeah, no, because the returning officer for Damango, Adams Awutoma, was not the one who declared Samuel Abu-Jinapo.
Who did?
The EC regional boss for Savannah region. And he said he had been instructed by headquarters to go ahead and declare Samuel Abu-Jinapo. In all of this, have you heard the EC talk about Damango? And that is why I am saying that this Electoral Commission has demonstrated manifest bias. Because they know that if you recollate the results in Damango, with the 49, there is no way. Again, have you seen, I have only a minute. You see the Electoral Commission returning officer for Ablekuma North, Vincent Obey, wherever he is, I salute him. I pray that this man, one day become a commissioner. That is how Afarijan used to operate with integrity. When they were pressurizing him, the MPP people were he said, look, I cannot.
That he didn't have a number.
Exactly. That I cannot. That I cannot do it. And rejected that invitation, unholy invitation. That is how you act.
It's not about just collating or making sure that you've just counted. The issue is about collating legally. So if a group of people coerce an electoral officer to collate and pronounce illegality, that cannot stand. And you cannot make the argument that you should go to court. So then in the next election, what the other political parties or what the MPP has to do is to go to a polling station or go to a constituency and coerce a returning officer to make pronouncements that favors us and then tell the NDC, go to court. That will be an absurdity. The right thing must be done. And if the right thing includes recollation, it must be done. Because the law says that until you go to court, the results have to be gazetted, and then 21 days after gazette, that's when you can go to court. So what are we saying? That an illegality is committed, which illegality we all have evidence of, and we should just watch that illegality to go on.
KOFI NTOTO, in respect of Sam George, but more particularly Roxy Nelson Dapamakloe, who I know is a legal practitioner, and so whether he's a member of parliament for another constituency or not, by way of his own professional standards, and then also as any leadership of any political party, it could have been the MPP. If such people of such nature seem to want to be at any event related to the subject matter we are discussing, it doesn't matter whether it's their constituency or not. Is that not the case?
No, see, here's the thing.
Because here lies the case. In your pronouncement or submissions, you seem to be impugning that their presence seem to be the reasons why that assertion has been made, that the Electoral Commission officers did the declaration under duress.
Yeah, so it's not me impugning. It's the Electoral Commission returning officer making a statement of claim written to the headquarters that she was coerced. She used those words, and she said that she was forced to make those declarations under duress, and she was the one that mentioned Dafiamapo's name, mentioned Bazintali's name, mentioned Hanabisiu's name. I didn't.
I see.
I am referencing a document she wrote to the headquarters.
Shadrach, can you get me Dafiamapo on the line, please, if it's possible?
No, I think that...
It's okay, please let him finish.
Okay.
So it is not me. It is a claim the EC officer made. 2, on the issue of Sam George, it is not me who is saying it. I am referencing a video I have seen where Sam George is telling the EC officer what to say. Now to your question, it is not a crime for any Ghanaian to visit an election center or even a coalition center. But there are rules. And the rules are that each political party will appoint representatives. The question is, was Sam George the representative for Okankwe Central? That's the question. Were they the officers assigned for Okankwe Central and Tema Central and the other constituencies? That's the first question. Number two, is that the law that someone who is even permitted to be at the coalition, is that the law that that person coerces the returning officer to make specific pronouncements? That's number two. Number three, is that the law that that person, even if that person is permitted, to coerce a returning officer to make the declaration when some polling station data are not available? Clearly, those are not the law. So even if they were permitted to be there, they were not permitted to coerce. They were not permitted to insist that declarations are made. Look, in the Okankwe Central, when you look at the video, the returning officer said, I don't have all the polling stations. They insisted, we don't care, go ahead and declare. That's not the law. So assuming without admitting that they had every right to be there, they had no right to coerce an officer. They had no right to ask. For example, the returning officer is making pronouncements. Sam George was talking, telling him what to say. Is that the law? So the issue is about legality. It's not about making the announcement or the coalition results first. It's not just about announcing it. It's about announcing it correctly and legally. And the evidence clearly shows that it wasn't the case.
KOFI NTOTO.
Yes, please go ahead.
That you're saying and insisting that the issue is about legality. Where in the law does it lie within the rights and then also the office and the powers that bounds or the EC is enjoined by to determine what is coercion and duress?
Coercion, okay, so when there are laws defined for an action to occur, that law says that for a declaration to be made, all the polling station results have to come in. Is that not the case? We have two lawyers here. They can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the EC officer says that I don't have all the polling station data to make my declaration. Then the people say that we don't care, go ahead and make the declaration. Is that not coercion? If
Who determines that?
That determination,
that's a question.
that determination is determined based on the actions that transpired.
Who determines that?
But I've told you that the determination is made on the basis that certain parameters must be met. If those parameters are not met and you insist that the process must continue, that's coercion. I don't need the Supreme Court to come and tell me, for example, if I pull a gun on you to engage in an activity, I don't need the Supreme Court to come and, or you don't need the Supreme Court to come and tell you that I'm coercing you. There's evidence of that act. So why do I need a Supreme Court or need a court to come and tell me that this is coercion when the laws are clear that to declare results you must follow certain parameters? That's the point that I'm making.
If you recall, in 2020, after she made CR 127, the NDC had issues with Techiman South. Led by the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, then minority leader, we approached her at the RAZ office with a petition, only praying for her to recollect the result as quote unquote declared by the officer who had no figures whatsoever. Now, when we wrote that petition, she responded to us, and in paragraph 13 of that response, she stated categorically that recollation is permissible at all levels until declaration, and that after declaration there is no recollation or recount. Your only recourse, in her own words, is to approach the court. The paragraph 14-15, she now goes to tabulate pursuant to regulation 43 what is required to be done. So KOFI, first of all, don't mislead the people. Two, the returning officer for Tema Central is not a lady. So it is not even possible that a lady was coerced or whatever. It cannot be correct. The returning officer for Tema Central is Akwesi Brobe, and it's known. Now this is what happened. The Tema Metro EC boss was the one who wrote that letter to Madame Jane Mensah. First of all, he has no bearing whatsoever in that intervention, because pursuant to Regulation 2.3 is the returning officer. The returning officer for Tema Central, like I pointed out earlier, is by name Akwesi Brobe. Now guess what happened? Once Akwesi Brobe is alive, on Saturday, Madame J. Mensah and Bosman Asare and Samuel Tete decided to appoint a new person called Francis Chum, the deputy returning officer, to now go and declare the NPP candidate as the winner. So between these two, which one is duress? That illegality that took place. So we should all have at the back of our mind. But you see, I just want us to take this clearly. I was there when
you were where?
I was at the collation center, the regional collation center. He is asking what was Sam George's locus, what was Dafia Mekpo's locus, what was Hanabisiu, Malik Basintale and co. In fact, what got me to the EC collation center at Rich was that Honorable Afenyo Makin, my own senior Frank Davis, Fred Owari, Peter McMahon were all there.
With locals?
I don't know. Now he is talking about locals. In fact, that is what, hold on, no, just stay calm. Okay. So at Ridge here, that is what actually got me. So immediately I sent WhatsApp message on our platform that the lawyers who are in court kindly rush to, because Frank Davis and co are all there and they are about to start this process. So let us know. So when the lawyers got there, they said they won't allow them. So I had to go there and say, no, this is one of our legal team members, this, and then we all went in and started the collation system. I've sent you a video. He's saying that Sam George coerced the EC person. No such thing happened. Do you know?
The assertion he makes it that Sam George was...
No, now listen. No, now listen to me.
Utterances he's construed to mean...
Oh, I've sent you the figure. The figures, hold on. The figures that were put on the declaration came from the EC officer's laptop. I've sent you the video. So it is not like NDC conjured figures and put on the declaration form. No. The EC, in fact, when you were doing it, I took, because I knew maybe a day like this would come. So I personally took a video whilst he was entering, and seated by him was his deputy. So where from this issue of duress? Two, and this is where I want to expose you. When these 5 seats were declared, I went to court with a judicial review, with a judicial review application. When we went to court, obviously judicial review, you know how we do it. You have to attach a supporting affidavit, sworn to by my general secretary. Guess what? If there was evidence that one of these returning officers or whatsoever was a subject of duress, what you do is that you file an affidavit or affidavit in opposition and particularize these instances of duress. We went to court. The judge asked the Electoral Commission lawyer, have you filed any affidavit in opposition to this deposition by the General Secretary of NDC? Answer, no. In the absence of that, where is the evidence of this duress? Do you know why the Electoral Commission could not get any of these 5 persons to file any affidavit in opposition? Because you swear to it. And once you swear to, if you are found to have lied, that amounts to perjury. And so, tactically, they decided not to file any affidavit in opposition, knowing that whatever they would say, I was going to cross-examine them on it. And so they decided that they won't file. Go and check the court record. If you claim that you are the subject of duress, what you do is that you come to court. Then you go through the oath. If you lie, you'll be found to have engaged in perjury. Nothing of that sort happened. Because they knew that what they were saying was choreographed. Now you see, The EC officer who wrote that response to Madam Jane Mensah, that is Ofosuhene, who is the Tema Metro EC director. Was he the returning officer? Where was the returning officer, Akwesi Brobe? 2, the day they came to, what do we call it? Tesano. No, not Tesano. The one they just did on Saturday.
EC Greater Accra office?
Perfect. Do you know that Kwesi Brobe was there? However, Jane Mensah now appointed his deputy to now come and do the collation which declared the NPP candidate the winner.
What's your point with this?
The point I'm making is that while the man is alive, if he claimed that he was under duress, that would have been the basis for him to speak to the camera.
Why is that you didn't request for it?
Which one?
For Brobe to be the one.
No, we said it. You saw Roxanne. You saw Roxanne telling Ofosuhene that what is your locus in this matter? You are the district officer. You are not the returning officer. So stay away. They will not. Because this was a fixed match between the MPP and the EC. And guess what? Of all the seats, they declared it in favor of MPP. Look, in the case of Okankwe Central, because I participated in the process, and you say, look, we know what happened. Oh. And that is why I have said.
The meaning of you know what happened?
No, because we saw everything. Look, Obuasi is the returning officer who returned the election. Listen carefully. He returned the election for the NDC candidate Samuel Abuaji in Obuasi. They now come to Accra, the same man. And at the time when he declared the result in Obuasi, the MPP MP was standing by and even signed the constituency declaration form.
He signed?
He signed it. I have the pink sheet with me. Now he comes to Accra and says, no, he was under duress. Now you see the danger, and that is why NPP, you should be worried. The danger is that you and I contest an election and we are declared winner. Then one morning, the same returning officer, for whatever reason, comes and say, when he declared you winner, he did it under duress. And so that is the basis to call for recollation, and then the result is overturned. There is an inherent mischief in that conduct. If you permit it, it portends chaos for tomorrow. Because then what it means is that an EC officer can just wake up tomorrow and then now come and say ABCD.